recording because that's a commitment I try to keep, frequently forget. But I think we've got it today. So we'll be hanging on. I'm going to see how I might adjust this. Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's going to be committed to where it is this morning. But we'll hang on for just a few. I hope everyone is well. Many of you, thank you so much. This is a part of what we share in this life. Have asked about my father-in-law, Jim, who has lived with Al and I since December of 2017. And we have cared for him here. You never know how that goes, right? Sometimes care means you're doing all the heavy lifting. Sometimes care means you're doing all the heavy lifting in some other way. But it's always includes confronting illness and aging. And Jim is 92 as of June. And Jim had a significant medical event about a week and a half ago and became had a UTI, urinary tract infections that are common in the elderly and those, unfortunately, when you have a weakened system, the other common thing is that they can turn into other things. And so this turned into a kidney infection, which turned into sepsis. And those become, as they advance and progress, of course, are more and more serious. So he was in the hospital for 5 days. He's out now with a port for antibiotics to the heart, intravenous antibiotics, and a catheter. And he is not just bouncing back, right? The thing we understand at 90, thank you, at 92. And so it has been, though I have to say I've known Jim all of my life since I married my childhood sweetheart. I have never seen him quite as still and silent. And I'm supporting my husband, who wants to do all of the right things, of course. Understand that this may not, the road may not go up in the way we always wish that it will. And if it goes up, it may not go up in the way he most wanted, which would be for his dad to become healthy again. Of course, right? And so we're all just holding each other. And so this poem this morning on benediction also seemed just right. So we will read that. And then, of course, as is true, we're going to be practicing the Tonglen practice. Tonglen meaning sending and receiving, sending and taking. And the sending and the taking, in addition to qualities of heart mind that we will be cultivating in the sending and taking, will also be occurring on the medium of the breath. We'll be breathing in distress. Yes, taking it in, it's already here. We will be breathing out relief, love, tenderness, kindness, whatever is needed. And it is one of my personal favorite practices. I try to do it on the spot as continuously, truly, as continuously as I can. And I also forget. And then do Tonglen once again for all those just like me who forget to do the thing that is the greatest blessing. And when I say great, I don't mean the biggest. I mean that which is possible now, that which you are capable of right now, that which I can offer now. That's the greatest one. Okay, thank you all. I think we're doing pretty well for getting everyone in. Let's see how we do. I'll do my best with that for. Yes, the thing that we know about Jim is that he is loved, and that he knows he is loved is absolute. Absolute. Thank you. And so here we go, benacht, which is actually a Scottish word, benacht. On the day when the weight deadens on your shoulders and you stumble, may the clay dance to balance you. And when your eyes freeze behind the gray window and the ghost of loss gets into you, may a flock of colors, indigo, red, green, and azure blue, come to awaken in you a meadow of delight. May it awaken in you an open heart. When the canvas frays in the currach of thought and a stain of ocean blackens beneath you, may there come across the waters a path of yellow moonlight to bring you safely home. May the nourishment of the earth be yours. May the clarity of light be yours. May the fluency of the ocean be yours. May the protection of the ancestors be yours. And so may a slow wind work these words of love around you, an invisible cloak to mind your life. An invisible cloak of love. May the winds carry it to you. And I think we'll keep that portion up for a time. Let's prepare to sit. I will be going through the 4 standard developments of the Tonglen practice this morning. And the first begins with a flash of bodhicitta. Flash of bodhicitta. What is that? Flash. And how do I do a flash? And what does bodhicitta really mean? And yeah, don't go there. Won't be helpful. I'm going to strike the bell. And in the striking of the bell, if you can just follow that bell out into open, vast space, feeling the boundlessness of that space. If you could make contact with the infinite nature, the vastness, the openness, the spaciousness, or the boundlessness, that would be that flash of bodhicitta. Oof. May we offer this practice today to all beings everywhere, without exception, to all those who will age, who will become ill, and who will die. This is the unavoidable reality of this precious human life. May we pray, may we bless, may we feel for us all. And may we then awake and be free. And so the first instruction offered in Tonglen, this sending and receiving, taking and sending, giving and taking, in and out and between and one practice. The first is to rest then, after making contact with that flash, the truth of the vast open space is to rest within it. Finding a quality of body, of heart and mind, in which to rest in that natural, abundant spaciousness. You may first make contact with the body sitting in space. Maybe the felt sense of the feet and the seat and the hands, drawing us closer, closer to ourselves and the earth. With each breath, particularly the out breath, we settle the mind into the body, and then the mind into the breath. Just experiencing as completely and as intimately, as friendly as you can, this reality of being alive. Remembering the blessings, the Nacht, that are holding you right now. This earth, this air, the light and the warmth from the sun. The waters so near us, the moisture of the ocean, and the beautiful vast space in which it all conspires to care for you. Infinite blessings already. And this is the beginning of setting the mind towards the good. It's essential in which to live a day that is good. Setting the mind towards the good, remembering the infinite blessings that are here directly for you. And how do you breathe that? How do you know and hold that in the body? This is the flash of bodhicitta. How do you know the goodness that is all around you and is being offered to you as you sit here? Breathe. As we call to mind the elements, we can then call to mind the benefactors, all those throughout all time, coming from all directions. This is the truth of it, that have offered and committed their lives, their prayers, their blessings, their actions, their words to your benefit. We turn towards the ancestors, towards the lineage, and towards those we do not even know, with thanks and gratitude, appreciation. All has held you. And hold you now. Place the mind there. Which is here. Breathe it in. Let it be metabolized, digested, and become a part of the essential tapestry of your awareness. And as we are offering ourselves this reminder and this reflection, we began in the 10 direction and the 3 times, past, present, and future, in which to hold this idea. And now we're going to make it more real. So we're going to actually sharpen our attention with this idea of the benefactor and call to mind one special one. And just see who comes rather than taking a vote. See who comes. I just had 2 immediately come. These are family members, both of them now deceased. None of this is the requirement. Could be the person sitting next to you, the person in the other room, a parent, a grandparent, a coach, a teacher, someone who has invited this felt sense of being loved. Call them. And then placing them above you, and slightly interestingly for this practice, behind you, just slightly above at the crown of the head. You play with this and see what's right for you. Some people like to look directly into the eyes of the benefactor. You would move them slightly forward. Others like just that felt sense of receiving. And then after calling the benefactor present, we look into their eyes, we feel their love, remembering that felt sense. I have my grandmother, Irene, here, and she had a certain smile that was just for me, her first grandchild. And she had a certain twinkle in her eyes, blue, beautiful eyes. I made her smile just for me. And I'm just feeling, remembering, and then feeling down into that experience of being loved like that. Make it as vivid and as real as it is. Picturing their smile, their smiling eyes, their radiant light of love. And then let it begin to pour into you, remembering it's already there, by the way. We're just waking up that experience. It's reminding the cells, letting it pour over you like light or open space or a lovely cradled embrace, whatever invites that memory, remembering for you. Breathe it in. Letting it touch the whole of the body, not just the exterior. It's one of our habits to pour it in right over the exterior, but we're letting this permeate, radiate. We're letting each moment of this knowing touch another element, aspect of the body, the blood, the veins, the fluids, the bone, the cells, the organs, the hairs, the pores. Radiating this love. This is an essential portion of the practice. We have to remember that by the love that we have received through the elements, through the earth, through the infinite others, and through these special ones, we ourselves are in fact that radiant light, that love. It cannot be otherwise. So we breathe it in, we metabolize it, and we rest. And you might come up with a particular visualization. I can just feel a certain kind of vibrancy, energy radiating. And for me, it just radiates right from the core or the center. It could be near the heart space, within the breathscape. Might come for you directly out of the marrow of the bone. It doesn't matter. That you make contact with that is essential. The radiant light of love. It's vibrant, luminous, infinite energy having been gifted to you, which is now who you really are. Feel its warmth, its vibrancy, its spaciousness. How do you know it? We're filling up the tank of our own being, which actually never runs dry. It just gets forgotten. The love that we have received equals the love that we now are. Cannot be diminished. And so we're just going to simply rest in the radiant heart of that love being offered Banak as a blessing. Remembering that we just breathe it in. Breathe. You may call to mind an image of your benefactor. For some people, placing a picture. For sure, in the Tibetan tradition, their deities are frequently placed in front as a reminder. And then we can begin as you are ready. You may have already found your way to this, is to make contact with that love, that protection, that care, that compassion, that goodness, and to begin to breathe it in and out. And as we breathe out, we begin to send that goodness out, letting it touch everything. We're just practicing with breathing it in, letting it have its impact, and then breathing it out. This is the first act of goodness called dana, or generosity. We don't hold any goodness just for ourselves. It's all shared. We're just sharing for a moment in all directions, sending it out with each out breath. There's no special breath. There's no exceptional or other way to breathe. You're just breathing the breath of love. I like to combine the breath with whatever else I make contact with on the out breath. Right now, it's a beautifully chirping little bird. I'm just letting that love touch and hold that bird and that sound. I'm hearing the sounds of my husband talking softly to his father. I'm holding them both in that love, letting that breath touch and hold them. The heart becomes bigger, more radiant, and more real. with each breath. So we've made contact with love, the truth of love, the experience of love being received and then given, offered to whatever is here within you and around you. And then actually we begin to expand that love by moving beyond love in connection to goodness, love in connection to love, by opening to love in connection to suffering, to distress, to pain, to confusion, ignorance. So I'd like you to call to mind now in this field of love, in this karak, says John, the container, the crucible of this heart, mind, and love. I'd like you to open to a moment of difficulty because this is the requirement for converting this love in connection to goodness and love into compassion. We call to mind a difficulty. You might call to mind a moment of suffering for yourself, a moment of difficulty or suffering for another. I'm going to call my husband. And we go through the same steps as we call to mind this pain, this difficulty, this distress. We picture the other. We place them in front of us. They are not elevated. They are right here, peer to peer, human to human, person to person, family, friend, stranger. We share this human experience. Heart to heart. And as you're reflecting on this difficulty, you can feel the effects. The body might become slightly more tense or tightened. There may be just a gentle constriction or contractedness of the body. Breath. This is all part of making contact with the truth of suffering, yours or another's. And just breathing with that for a moment. And this is where we begin the Tonglen. This is where we begin by making contact with the truth of distress in ourselves or another. We begin to breathe it in. This is the taking in. And we breathe it in. And the way it is imagined in the Tibetan culture is that you take it in as a dark, black, smoky texture. I have not noticed that that's required, that that's available to you if needed. The distress of this is pretty clear for me already. The pain of it, the confusion, the sadness is already all here. The visualization for me just distracts me. But if it supports you in really making contact with that, use the visualization. I continue to picture my husband in his care of his father. I can see his exasperated breath, his sighing. I can feel his pain. And I'm breathing it in. I'm offering relief by willingly, lovingly, compassionately taking it in and myself. This immediately allows for the release of our self-preoccupation, even when it's our own suffering. We can begin to feel for ourselves and for the other in this moment of difficulty. Breathing it in, letting it be metabolized by this radiant light, by this healing heart, by this love. Letting it touch in, make real contact. There's no way around it. And then on the out breath, we send out this white, vaporous light. Could be imagined as steam or radiant light rays, or milk and honey, or a piece of candy, whatever the goodness of your love, the goodness of the love from through then throughout all time. We are the conduit for this love and compassion, sending it to this special one or to oneself. This is the sending. Breathe it out. Send it graciously, generously, completely. May you be free from affliction. May you be free from distress. May you have ease and well-being. May you too remember that you are being held continuously in this vast and boundless heart mind of love and compassion. Breathing it out and over. And then breathing in the difficulty with each breath. With each breath, one of the things I'm happening to notice is that it's a slightly different aspect of this distress or this affliction. So the first breaths were breathing in my husband's pain at loving his father and not recognizing that he may not be able to keep him here. The truth of loss is imminent, whenever that is. And the second one was, oh, and then the guilt. And I could breathe that in and send out relief. And oh, there's that sense of responsibility. I could take that in and send out freedom, the freedom that comes from love. This is not required. You may just be simply looking into the eyes of the one in distress. So may I take this affliction from you. May I send you relief. That's the third step. And then the fourth one is that we naturally, in its time, this is not forced, we expand that loving heart, that infinite heart, beyond this special one, beyond yourself, to include others who feel this too. So as I'm breathing it in, I'm taking in the distress of all those who have cared for a parent, a loved one, and who have confronted the inevitable loss. This heart is big enough, wide enough, vast enough to hold that for all beings because it is right here in me. I know this truth. And all those, just like me, who know the truth of care, of love, and loss, may they be free from suffering. Send it out. Remembering you can send it out as a light, as a good medicine, as an embrace, as a refuge. I send it like a hug, embracing and expanding and holding all those who know this too. Breathing in the difficulty, sending out love and compassion. And then for me, I just expand that beyond the special one in front of me, which I used as my husband as the example, to include all directions. I'm sending it now in front of me and side, above me and below. Be watchful of the habit just to like to lean into the love and compassion, which is beautiful on the out breath, but we also have commitment. And that commitment is on the in breath, that we take in and take on the difficulties. This love is big enough. This heart is boundless. No matter what the suffering, the affliction, the difficulty, no matter what the pain, the disappointment, this vast, open, spacious heart mind is more than big enough to hold on. So we breathe it in freely, lovingly. Send out that goodness. And finally, we simply and completely come to rest in the light, in the love. We transcend the colors, we transcend the textures, the beings, the one, the many, the self. We rest in absolute bodhicitta, which is just light and just space and just warmth and just love. And this is not because we've turned away from suffering. It's because we have transmuted it by our willingness. And so we shall rest like this in this warm, open, spacious, infinite field of love and compassion, wisdom and equanimity, and joy and freedom. We breathe this in and we send it out. May the nourishment of the earth be yours. May the clarity of light be yours. May the fluency of the oceans be yours. May the protection of the ancestors be yours. And may a slow wind work these words of love around you and through an invisible cloak to mind your life. And being gentle, offering gentle movements or little rotations, just opening the field of the body. Letting that heart, mind continue to radiate. So, Tonglen, beautiful, necessary practice. And really, maybe more than that, right? Maybe more. The condition, the true condition of our awakened heart mind. We get reminded that heart mind, in its openness, in its boundlessness, what it is capable of. And that probably, if we could simplify the thought, would be to heal everything. That's its nature, to heal everything. And that is possible, even when the conditions are not of you choosing, even when the circumstances are not what you would most wish, that there is the always present reality and capacity that by our presence, by our love, by our compassion, we heal the world. Even when I know in moments it can feel like too little, too late. I think that's just an evaluation. It is not a truth. It is never too little and it is never too late. So be careful of the mind that diminishes. That is fear. I don't have what it takes. Yesterday, as an example, we had a little crisis, and that simply means a thing we didn't see coming, or a thing we didn't see coming and we didn't want, right? That's the crisis. Otherwise, it's just life unfolding. And my husband's father was calling out, which he rarely, never does. Help me, help me. He'd gotten caught in a situation with his knee, and we all kind of heard him at the same time for whatever set of reason. And my husband had run downstairs, and now I'm right behind him running downstairs. And I run into my newly 30-year-old son, Tanner, who is standing at the bottom of the stairs holding the stairs. He is not going towards the situation. He is coming away from it. And I saw him, and I saw his fear. And I saw his, I don't want to, this is too hard. I don't want to be with this. This is the younger son. And that moment, I could do Tonglen for him, right? For all the moments we've all been in when things have looked too hard and we went the other way, right? All of us. And we went the other way. And even if we didn't look like we were heading in the opposite direction as he did, the heart closed, right? That fear contracted momentarily, that infinite heart. And we all know this. And so I could feel for us all, couldn't I? The times I've gone in the other direction, the times I've shut down, the times I've gone into judgment, which was easier, the times I've gone into criticisms or condemnation or irritation or frustration or bold anger and rage or whatever we're doing, and we're doing all of it, right? Can we feel for ourselves as well? So watch where you are judging, because of course what you're actually judging is that very thing in you. Whatever it is, that very thing in you. And we can begin Tonglen right there by feeling for ourselves, if not yet the other. In our moment of, I've got to take it all on, or I've got to get rid of it all, or I've got to something or other strategizing rather than being present. Rather than being present. These ideas we have, what can I do? And what my son was able to say so beautifully was, I didn't know what to do, so I didn't go that way. I didn't know what to do. And I said, of course you didn't. No one knows what to do. We still go that way. You still get there and go, I don't know. I'm just here. I don't know what I got. I don't know how to do it. And there will be someone, right? As Mr. Rogers says, there is a helper there who will help you too. And then you become that helper by showing up, even when you don't know what to do, because who does? Me neither. So here's a couple chats. Yes, I've acknowledged that Jim is feeling cared for. I feel certain about that, as all those, I hope, who are in painful or difficult condition of whatever form, I hope that they know too, because they are being held as well, even if there's nobody in the house who looks like they care. Remember, care and love and compassion all come from infinite sources and infinite directions. Even when you think you are alone, it is never true. Never true. There is someone, we're sending that Tonglen out, didn't we? In all directions to touch all those who are in suffering or struggle. They don't know it, but here's what I know. I think it can be felt. And I have some good evidence for that. Something looks like it got written by accident here. Thank you. We are also being held, just like Jim is being held, right? If we can be open, we know that you know that this is a part of the human condition. And of course, you're feeling for us because you know this difficulty, the challenges too. Whether you're in the middle of this or not, isn't the point. They have come either before or to come. This is our reality. So thank you all for that. I certainly do not want this, however, to become some idea about our family. I want you to remember that this is your family. These are your truths. This is your circumstance, right? Of course it is. Each one of us has lost someone we love, or not known what to do, or felt helpless, or of course, this is the part of this experience. So thank you. I am grateful for all of that care, and I want you to remember that please direct that care as well to yourself and to others in this shared vulnerability. This shared vulnerability. It is not anyone's, it is shared by us all. And so, yes, thank you. May we all be well and have what we need to do more than survive, right? That we might offer something to this. Any questions about the Tonglen before this formal Tonglen, before I talk for a moment, before we go about how to offer Tonglen on the spot? Because this is where I think the practice can be particularly alive and particularly juicy. So in our Saturday practice, we identified the 3 most difficult practices They are recognizing a moment of reactivity, a moment of habit, a moment of shutdown, a moment of judgment, a moment of comparing, a moment of fear. Could be anything, but we've caught it, right? There it is. We feel the grip, or we can feel, as I was laughing with Craig yesterday, my lip goes up in kind of like, and I shake my head. That's me in contraction. No, I don't want this. This is dumb. I think this should be lit. And when I can catch that, which I have been working much more actively on doing in the last week, the second most difficult practice is beyond the recognition, which is our mindfulness, is to then do something different. Do something different. And so rather than do something different, for me has been Tonglen. Can I remember that me, just like you, take on too much, that me, just like you, think you can fix it, that me, just like you, wants it to be some other way? Can I do something different? And with that alone, here's the promise, I've been stunned. With that alone, I have noticed the change of everything, not just that moment. I have been stunned by how, when I didn't just react, when I didn't silently and otherwise, how everything shifted. Everything shifted in a way that I was literally blown away by. Like, wow, I can't get over this. And I just kept the commitment. Do something different in a moment of reactivity, in a moment of judgment, in a moment of blame, in a moment of fear, in a moment of despair. Do not do the same old habit. Do not propagate it one more time, this time. And then the third most difficult practice is what? To continue to do it. And so I've just been saying, do something different. That's been how I've caught it. Do something different, because I can feel that lip. I can feel the head shake. I can feel the eye roll. Wait a minute. Do something different. And that has been transformative for me. Transformative. So what can we do on the spot? We can notice by body or mind a moment of contraction. Why do they? How come? What do you do? Why is, right? We know the lingo. We can catch it in a thought. We can catch it in a body. The contracted chest, the tightness around the throat, the belly that grips or gets butterflies, the shoulders that rise up, the hands that tighten, right? Can't we catch that? Yes, we can. And in that moment, right, we can make that offer. May I breathe in this difficulty, just recognizing this is a moment of difficulty, nothing else to do. But recognize is the first, and then do something different. And that's Tonglen, isn't it? Do something different. Open something up. Whatever you can. Open something up. Do something different means no more contracting, no more shutting down, no more the same habit that takes us further into the default of the mind. Do something different. And that will be an amazing contribution to the end of suffering. Right there, as I have seen. Wow. Do something different. Which simply began with me having a different face. The one that wasn't going, and led to the truth of a more open, expanded heart. I wasn't even shooting for that. Actually, I thought I could at least, knock it off with that judgmental, incredulous face. Nope. And so see where you can catch your own reactivity, your own habit nature. And in that recognition, that first most difficult practice, see what you can do. Do something different, open something up. And I'll be interested to hear what that is. What I'd like you all to do now, truthfully, is to think about what one of your habits might be. What's one of the faces you make? What's one of the phrases you might come out of your mouth in these moments of difficulty? I'd like you to name one. Really, this is for you. And then I'd like you to imagine what you might do differently. What can you do? Instead of scowl, instead of go, I can't believe you did that again, instead of your habit going, this is crazy, I shouldn't have to deal with this. Why can't I get the love I want? Those believed thoughts are just as habituated. What can you do differently? Well, one is recognize it. We're going to name it now. There it is, that thing I do. The second thing you can do is remember to offer, do something different, and then open something. Open something. Yes, somebody is saying something about a habit that they're noticing in others. And here's what I know. Not only do they have the habit, but you have some habit as well. And so the opportunity is to go, what do I normally do with that as I'm watching the other or watching the others and their habit? What's my habit in relationship? Do something different. Do something different. By the way, the evidence is that it doesn't matter what you do. That's pretty radical, that it doesn't matter what you do different. It only matters that you break the pattern. And then you'll learn from that there is positive impact or benefit or not from that other thing I offered. Yes, recognizing we're in pain is a beautiful offering to oneself and others, and necessary to offer ourselves what is then ultimately needed, physical or otherwise. And then rather than judge that, can we do something different? What can we offer? May I be free from this suffering? Breathe it in. May I be free from this judgment, this condemnation, this criticism that I levy very likely most against oneself, by the way, folks. Before you threw it out the stone over there, you swallowed it. So whenever you're thinking, oh no, it's me being so horrible to others, it's never true. You have first ingested the poison pill of that judgment yourself. Can you at least feel for that? And then do something different rather than shut down, rather than go into the judgmental story, the condemning story that there's no hope, no point. That's all contraction. It's hopeless story. Do something different and open something. What do I need to open up inside me to set an action in motion? The very first thing we open is recognition. I see myself in the contractedness. I see the grip. I feel the choke. I can hear the judgmental thought. This is hopeless and can't be better. You can catch it at every one of those levels. And in that recognition, the only other thing you need to do is say, don't do the habit. Don't do the habit. And whatever comes will come. I don't think we get brilliant about, wow, I've got a new brilliant thing to do, except to go, I will not do the condemning. I will not do the judging. I will not do the shutting down. I will not do the blaming. I will not do, right, towards self or other. Okay, what's left? Tonglen, maybe. Let me breathe in the truth of suffering. Let me send out light and love. Maybe that. Maybe Tonglen is it. It opens something in the face of suffering because that's its nature. That's why we practice. And we practice on purpose in shallow waters, right? In these quiet times like this on a Tuesday morning. That's why we practice formally. So that on the spot, in the current, in the grip of life, there it all is. We can remember. Oh, wait a minute. I don't have to just make that scowly face, shake that head, and think that judgmental thought. I can offer something else by the very recognition, by the very breathing in the truth of me in this fearing place, myself. Right? Like, oops, I don't know what to do either. Just like my son, deer in headlights, heading the other way. It's not because he doesn't love his grandfather, because in fact he does. And he judged himself. I don't know what to do, and I don't know if I'll do the right thing. So I'm not going. We'll go anyway. That would be something different, wouldn't it? Go anyway, go towards. That by itself would be a whole change. Instead of just separate and go the other way with judgments or, right? Go towards, go, I don't know what I'm going to do when I get there. This is the first act of do something different, go towards, open up, move closer. Wouldn't that be incredible? Who knows what will come from there? I just promise you it will be better. That's the promise. It will be better. And I don't know what to say. Don't say anything. Stand quietly, patiently, lovingly. And see the impact of that. Be careful, because we all do this. I don't know what to do, so I'm too scared. I'm too immobilized. Well, acknowledge that and open. You have to open to make contact with that. To open up to the contracted, fearing, lost child in all of us. The one who doesn't want the difficulty, who wants the ease. Well, everyone does. Breathe it in and send it out. So name your habit and name something you can do. Is it Tonglen? Is it make a loving phrase? Is it breathing in and out? Is it making an out loud statement, as I typically do? By the way, I don't keep this to myself. I actually make those blessings and phrases. I say them out loud as I breathe them out. May we all be free from this distress. I say it out loud. Breathe it out. May we all find patience in this difficult moment. Breathe it out. Right? Say it out loud. Watch what it changes. Wow. Right? Wow. Watch what it changes. Offer the blessing, first of your own presence, and then if you have it within you, put an open hand or a loving phrase on it. Right? I said to my 30-year-old son, if you just appeared, you could say, I'm here. That's it. You don't even need to know anything. You just say, I'm here. See what happens. Let's give it a try. The 3 most difficult practices and Tonglen, opening something in some way, is the solution. Let's see how it goes. Yes. Yeah. Someone said, I have a habit of piling things on and not getting rid of that which is not really serving me. Yes, it's a pretty good habit. We stay in the habit of going, okay, I can accumulate this, I can, right, whether it's things or activities or judgments, it's very easy to pile them on. And yes, it gets harder and harder. We get piled under them in some way, but we also remove them one breath, one thought, one judgment at a time. So don't think we're all going to just climb out for one moment. Not this time. I'm not going to pile one more on. And that's one more judgment, one more condemnation. Okay. All right, folks, let's sit together for just a moment. Let's reestablish our presence. Let this metabolize. Just finding our way to the body, seeing if we can't invite an openness, a non-judgment, a non-reactivity with whatever we find here. There's no other way to be. Can we arrive and respond with some essential kindness, openness, understanding, receptivity, care? Breathe it in. Remember all that love offered to us. May we gather the merits, the blessings, and the benefits of this practice today and all practice throughout all time. May we gather it here in our own hearts and then breathe it out, offering it to all beings and those who come to mind now, those special ones, including yourself. May we all be happy and have the causes and conditions in this heart mind for true happiness. May we be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May we rejoice and be glad with gratitude for our good fortune, of which we all have many. And may we wish this good fortune for others. May we all have enough. May we rest and dwell in the vast open arms of equanimity, of love, of compassion and joy. And may we breathe it in remembrance and send it out. So that all beings will be. And see if it isn't so. And may this practice this morning contribute. May this be a very good day. So be it. Let it be a very good day for you as well. May you bring that goodness, that love as often as you can this day. Thank you all for practicing with me today. It was good to see you all. And I will see you on Saturday. Greg will be here Thursday. We are doing a sound healing meditation after our 7:30 Zoom. We'll do a 7:30 to 8:15 Zoom here on Zoom here. And then at 8:30, we will be starting the sound healing with Andy and the Sound Swirls, which is a fundraising event for our friend Chuang Lama, who is getting ready to get on the train today for his trip across the country to New York City and then back. And we're going to try to help Chuang as best we can as he helped us during our time in Nepal. So that's one of those exchanges that's easy to do. So we will be talking a little more on Saturday about other events coming up, the St. Andrew's Food Basket and those things coming in October. But for now, just try to get on your calendar, the 7:30 Zoom meditation to 8:15 and the 8:30 to 10 or so, I don't know, something like that. Sound healing here in the garden at my home in Leucadia. If you need the address or anything, I think I included it. Let me know. I see something here. When will Carrie be home? Carrie will be home Friday night, and the drop-offs will start whenever you can after that. We will not be delivering the food for St. Andrews until October 12th, I believe. But the tub that sits in front of her garage at 1092 Aloha off of Santa Fe will be there as of this weekend. So please, we'll keep reminding so that you can remember to contribute to that goodness as well. It's very important that we do. There's many families served through St. Andrews now more than ever. So we're going to help as best we can. 99-cent store has lots of 99-cent items, pastas and rices and beans and chili and tuna, all that good stuff. So we can all make that contribution. All right, everyone, be well. I'll look forward to seeing you this Saturday, either for Zoom or for the garden sound meditation. I can't wait. Thank you, Andy. I'm very excited. I can't think it'll be amazing to be in the yard with those beautiful sounds. All right, everyone, have a beautiful day. Make it so. Take good care.